What is up, Astros fans? I got your 5-Minute Friday on Believe in Astros with your boy, Jeff Balke. Thanks for joining me. Big thanks to Ben Dubose, who joined me earlier this week. If you haven't listened or watched that podcast, you really should. Ben's got a lot of really insightful comments. Been real interested this week to watch sort of pitching versus hitting. Hitting's always behind pitching this time of the year. It's typically behind even in the first few weeks of the season. And we are seeing that right now. Astros hitters have been they've been fine, but nothing to write home about. They're still figuring things out. Pitching, however, has been pretty good with one notable exception, and that's Dylan Coleman. Coleman, who the Astros traded for, and I think we're hoping would be an important part of that middle relief in the bullpen, he has not looked good. And you have to wonder if that continues, that could be an issue for them. They have a bunch of guys who have opportunities in the middle of that bullpen, right? You've got Forrest Whitley now with his fingers hurt. Brian Abreu, which I was just realized this morning, he's going to miss the first 2 games of the season from that suspension he acquired in the ALDS. So there are some opportunities. We're assuming Rafael Montero is going to be out there and firing on all cylinders. Reports from camp is that he has looked really good, which is great. Look, Ronel Blanco is getting stretched out. He's looked excellent, although if Justin Verlander or JP France or both of them miss the first week or 2 of the season with injuries, Ronel Blanco might be your 5th starter, right? And then you've got guys like Oliver Ortega or Parker Mashinsky who might get in there. I think one guy we can count on is Seth Martinez. Seth Martinez has looked fantastic this spring. He really has. And I think that's a guy we can look to. That will probably be in that bullpen. But there's going to be, I think, a lot of flux in that bullpen to start the season, both because of injuries and because of the suspension to Abreu. The back end of that lineup, especially once Abreu gets back, is locked down. We're in good shape, obviously. It's the middle relief. It's those bridge guys that I think the Astros are going to have to be concerned about. We need to watch those. I think we're going to be less concerned about the bench. Like I said, the hitting's a little behind, but when you look at it, all the positions are covered, and your bench is Dubon and Caratini for sure. And I think probably Corey Julks at this point. Julks has some experience with the club. He was obviously with the club most of last year. He's got good athleticism. He's good in the outfield. He swings a good bat. He's also very plate aware. He's a guy that doesn't swing and miss a ton. And with their aggressive approach on the base paths, he would make sense. The question is who's going to fill that other bench seat? Like, I've been thinking Trey Cabbage, especially because he's a lefty with some power. But, the Astros might choose to go with Greg Kessinger because he has that flexibility of being able to play multiple positions on the infield, right? Now, I'd be surprised if they didn't put a lefty on the bench to go with Caratini, who's a switch hitter. But I think it's going to be down to who's hitting the ball the best to start the year. Right now, I think that Corey Julks is one guy that's going to be plugged in there. Look, Kessinger could be it. We'll see. Not really 100% sure on that, but that's why we've got a couple of weeks here to try and sort all these things out, figure out where we're going. Maybe it's David Hensley. Maybe it's a young guy. Maybe Pedro Leon suddenly rockets up the charts. Who knows? But for now, I think it's just going to be interesting to keep an eye on this and see where it goes. All right. I do want to mention Uniform Gate just briefly. If you haven't paid attention, the Major League Baseball Players Association are mad, and a lot of players are mad because they think the uniforms are not very good, kind of lame. And if you look at them in comparison to the older uniforms from last year, they do look kind of cheap. I mean, the lettering's kind of bad. Apparently, the fabric is not great. They don't like the way it feels, all this kind of trivial stuff. The main thing, though, the main thing is that the pants are see-through. So unless you're tucking your shirt way in, there's a chance people are going to see your junk. How did Nike not figure this one out? Didn't they put this on somebody and be like, dude, your business is showing. Can we get a seamstress in here to work on this fabric? I'm no fashion expert, but I'm thinking see-through is probably one of the things you want to look for in a fabric when you're talking about baseball players not showing off their nuts. Anyway, that's it for Friday. You guys have an excellent weekend. I'm going to be in Austin enjoying some sun and fun with my family. I hope you guys have a great weekend. And as always, go Astros.